The wild $100 million ride of the flash crash trader, the man in the room upstairs. Daniel Cross lived in a plain two-story house on Oakridge Lane, the kind of home that blended into the neighborhood like a forgotten street sign. The curtains were always drawn, the blinds always half-tilted, and the only light that truly mattered glowed from the 3 wide monitors upstairs. To the neighbors, he was a quiet computer technician. To Wall Street, he didn't exist. To himself, he was a man running from a past he rarely spoke about. Most people didn't know Daniel had once been engaged. Most people didn't know she walked out. And most people didn't know the heartbreak she left behind drove him deeper into the only thing he trusted, the markets. He didn't trade for glory. He traded because numbers didn't leave him. Daniel's gift wasn't taught, it was instinctive. He read order books the way musicians read sheet music. He could sense panic before the first spike in volatility, feel greed before the candles turned green. His father, an accountant who died when Daniel was 17, had once told him, "The market is a living thing. Learn its moods and it will never surprise you." It became his mantra. By his late 20s, Daniel had turned $8,000 into $3.2 million with a level of precision that bordered on supernatural. But money didn't fix the hole left by Emily Marrow, the woman who had once promised to build a life with him before deciding she couldn't, to live with a man who loved charts more than conversations. Heartbroken, he isolated himself even further and built something dangerous, the birth of the mirage. It began as an experiment. Daniel noticed that markets didn't crash. They flinched. A small shock created a larger reaction. A large shock created chaos. What if he could orchestrate the flinch? He developed a tactic he called the mirage flood the market with huge, deceptive sell orders. Trigger panic, cancel the orders before execution. Slip in real trades on the opposite side. Profit from the equilibrium he himself disrupted. He convinced himself it wasn't illegal, just clever. He told himself he wasn't hurting anyone. He repeated it often enough that he believed it. But love, lack of it, longing for it was the shadow behind every decision. The mirage wasn't just a market strategy. It was how he coped with everything he couldn't control. The flash crash began May 6, 2010, a tense Thursday afternoon. Europe was rattled. Traders were nervous. Algorithms were hypersensitive. Daniel sat in his dim room, hoodie pulled tight, fingers poised above the keyboard. He initiated the mirage at a scale he had never attempted. Hundreds of millions in spoofed orders. Thousands of levels, layered like an avalanche. Automated cancellation down to the millisecond the market twitched. Then trembled. Then collapsed. In minutes, the Dow plunged nearly 1,000 points. Newscasters panicked. Traders screamed. The world stared at screens in disbelief. Daniel didn't move. His hands were steady, his heart quiet. This wasn't chaos to him, this was music. By 2:54 p.m., he had made $100 million. When the markets recovered, he whispered to himself, just a flinch. But someone else was watching his screen from afar. Emily. The email that changed everything. Emily had reached out the night before, after years of silence. A simple message. I hope you're doing well. I think about you sometimes. It shattered him. They exchanged long, aching messages that night. He told her he still loved her. She told him she wasn't sure. And on the day of the flash crash, as Daniel made the most money of his life, he wasn't thinking about profits. He was thinking about her. He wanted to impress her, to show her what he built, what he'd become. So he did something reckless. He emailed her a screenshot of his trading dashboard. Not the orders, not the strategy, but enough to raise eyebrows. Enough to show staggering profits earned in minutes. She responded with admiration, but also worry. And Emily wasn't just anyone anymore. She was engaged to an SEC compliance attorney, a man who recognized exactly what he saw. The walls start closing in within 48 hours. The Sex Surveillance Division and the CFTC had cross-referenced anomalous traits to a single location in Chicago. For weeks, they monitored Daniel quietly. Emily's fiancé, Samuel Royce, reported the screenshot anonymously, ethically required, professionally unavoidable. But when Emily found out, guilt consumed her. She contacted Daniel again, warning him vaguely that he should be careful. He didn't understand what she meant. He thought she was hinting at reconciling. He traded even harder, hoping to impress her more. Meanwhile, investigators gathered IP logs, order flow timestamps, and platform records. Each piece painted the same picture: one man controlling a tidal wave. It happened on a cool morning in early autumn. Daniel opened his door to FBI agents, CFTC officials, SEC investigators, unmarked cars lining the street. He didn't struggle. He simply exhaled as though he had been expecting the moment all along. Emily came to see him 2 weeks later during a supervised visitation at the detention center. They sat across from each other, glass between them. Her eyes were swollen from crying. "I didn't mean for this," she whispered. He gave her a small smile, tired, forgiving. "Markets flinch, Em. People do too." It was the last time they ever spoke. The trial of the invisible giant. The trial dragged on for months. Daniel wasn't a hedge fund. He wasn't a syndicate. He wasn't an algorithmic firm with $1 billion budget. He was a single man with a custom script. A ghost. A flinch in human form. Prosecutors argued he deliberately manipulated markets. His lawyers argued he exposed weaknesses unintentionally. The truth sat somewhere in the middle. Ultimately, he was found guilty of market manipulation, but not of intentionally triggering the flash crash. He was sentenced to 18 months in federal custody, the lightest sentence they could justify for a crime with global impact. Some said it was because his strategy was brilliant. Some said because he cooperated. Some said because he had no prior offenses. But those who knew whispered he was already punished before the trial even began. The man who became a myth. After prison, Daniel disappeared. Rumors. He was trading crypto anonymously offshore. He was consulting secretly for hedge funds. He was living in a mountain town, writing algorithms for fun. He was permanently banned from trading and now codes educational software. Emily married her fiancé. She never contacted Daniel again. But she once admitted to a friend that she still thought about him. The man who loved numbers and maybe loved me too. To regulators, Daniel Cross became a cautionary tale. To traders, a ghost story whispered during volatile afternoons. And sometimes, when the markets shudder unexpectedly, someone inevitably asks, "Is he back?" Because legends don't die. They just wait for the next flinch.